Difficult. Women. Dun 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 dun.
Holy shit.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back. We had to get in your ears.
Clearly, we wanted you to know we didn't go anywhere. You shouldn't go anywhere. We're here.
Who is there?
I'm Katy.
I'm Marie, and you are listening to the Difficult Women podcast.
We're back because there is an emergency.
Time to get real difficult. That's what I'm talking about. It's time to get very, very difficult. But yeah, we just thought we should pop on, check in. Let's check in. How you doing?
Check in. So if you didn't know what we're talking about, Roe v. Wade is now overturned, which we kind of saw. We knew.
We
kind of
absolutely knew. This is not a surprise. We all should have.
Not a surprise.
No.
But still devastating. Feels scary nonetheless. Definitely has immediate repercussions for a lot of individual people out there in the world who are pregnant and wanting an abortion and living in a state where now it is legal right now.
I mean, I'm in a trigger state, so everything just triggered.
I did want to mention some of the trigger states, and Tennessee is included in this. So if you are in Tennessee and you are pregnant right now and want an abortion, there's still 30 days before it goes into an effect. So double check with your state. Don't just give up all hope right away because there's a possibility you still might be able to get one in the immediate. There's some states where it is in effect right now, so you may not be able to legally get one in that particular state. But one of the reasons why we're here is to let you know that there are some active things you can do if you are pregnant and need an abortion, or if you are not pregnant and want to help people who need to get abortions. So that's one of our big hopes today, to spread some info.
Yeah, I've been very active in the local abortion funds. I think locally is the best way to go about it. So if, again, you can listen to our incredible episode that we did with Julie Rosing about ineedana.com. She is one of the co-founders of that website. You can go right now to ineedana.com if you need an abortion. You can go there. It has been updated since Roe has been overturned.
Yeah, and let's talk about real quick things that people can do if they need an abortion right now. Yes, go to ineedana.com. I actually went on there today just to check out what is it you're going to get if you go on there and you need information for abortions. And what they're able to do right now is actually send you your closest clinic where it's legal, which they've kept updated. They let you know if those clinics have resources for the pills, if you need pills, or, any kind of that kind of legal information so that you know what you can and cannot do. They also just have a lot of nice information about if you don't even know, right? Let's say you're pregnant and you're I don't know what I'm supposed to fucking do. Let's say you're not sure you want an abortion. They're also really good with resources to help you talk it out with somebody or make the choice that's right for you. And I thought that was really nice. So that is definitely a very useful resource right now.
Mm-hmm. And they don't track your information, which is actually quite terrifying to think all of a sudden now that it's federally illegal to even Google, I need an abortion, what repercussions that could have just with tech. We're being tracked.
Yeah,
guys. I mean, our telephones are being. Yeah. Anyway, what else?
Well, another thing too. Actually, side note. You may or may not be pregnant right now, but there's a lot of talk about how everyone should get off of their tracking apps. If anybody's on a period tracking app,
Flow.
Because
I was on Flow.
Yeah, I got off mine too, just in case. And you can do tracking. It's good to track your period, but you can just do it by hand in a notebook. You don't need to do it on an app. It was just convenient, but they are tracking you. And there is a possibility that they could see if you had an irregular period or something when you didn't have your period for a couple months. There's a world in which people could be tracking that information and then hunting you down and figuring out what the deal is.
Claiming they're
that.
getting their $10,000 like bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Fucking Star Wars bounty hunters.
Yeah. And I was also informed that you should be careful about if you do track it on your Google Calendar. Don't say period today. Say
I didn't even think about that.
Paid my rent or whatever, so just be just be mindful because of the internet. We just don't know the robots are watching. So watch out for that. Another thing I thought was interesting that I found a resource is if you need any legal advice, if you're not sure I don't know what exactly would be happening. Maybe you're pregnant and you it's not that you want an abortion, but you have to have one because your, baby's not okay. And you need to talk to a lawyer and you don't have resources for that. There's a place called reprolegalhelpline.org. It's reprolegalhelpline.org. And they are for reproductive help, legal help if you can't afford a lawyer, and they can give you some advice, which I thought was like super useful at this time because I think people are going to start doing wackadoo things to try to get their abortions.
What else?
Well, I mean, did you guys know? And of course, this is not going to be legal in all the states, but it was interesting to know there are abortion pills you can order online now through a company called Hey Jane. And of course, I'm sure like in certain states, they're going to be like, that's not okay. But maybe there's a way you can get it sent to a neighboring state or something, somewhere else, and you can pick it up over there. And that's something I don't know the details about. But at least there's more options now for abortions than there used to be like in the 70s. So those kinds of opportunities may come to you more than they would have in the past? Question mark?
My question about those, because it's a federal, I believe it's either now or it's going to be a federal offense to get abortion pills shipped to Tennessee. But my question, I was talking to a friend this morning about it. For abortion pills, do you talk to a doctor? Like, is
There's
it a telehealth?
So that's what it is. So in some states, it's illegal to have telemedicine, conversations about abortion pills. Mm-hmm. But if you're in this next state over, you know what I mean, at your friend's house, you may have, better luck with that. Also, to clarify, at this present moment, I believe, like I know in Tennessee, it is going to be like a federal offense to give an abortion, but it's not a federal offense to have an abortion yet, at least in Tennessee. And again, it's going to vary state to state, so you want to make sure you know what your state's rules are. But that also is different because it means like you can leave the state and get an abortion, and that's not illegal. It's just illegal to practice abortion in the state. So that's something to be aware of.
Medication abortion by mail and telehealth was already banned in Tennessee.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, but my point is,
there you go.
Can you get it mailed to like Pennsylvania? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm like, I should just, when I go to New York, load up.
That was another thing I was going to say is that people are starting to do that they're getting prescriptions for, if not the abortion pills, at least for Plan B. That's something, just get some. And that is something you can buy without proving any, because you don't even know if you're pregnant when you are using Plan B. So that's like a resource too that could be handy to have on hand, just in your back pocket if you are living in a state where things are getting hairy. And then the other thing too, it's like, of course, like vasectomies, if you really don't want to have a baby, we know that tubal ligation is really difficult to get for women, but maybe it's, if you're really, really sure you don't want kids, it might be a good time to start trying to get that going if you're sure. And then the other thing is just, and again, this is not like shit happens. We all know that shit happens, but, practicing safe sex is more important than ever for a lot of people. So especially to the men out there, like stop it with the pressuring ladies to not have sex without a condom. Like just, it's not safe now more than ever. So things like that. And then, but all those things, that does not help a woman who is pregnant, wanting to be pregnant, and then needs an abortion for medical reasons. So unfortunately, nothing of those things we just mentioned can help a woman in that case. I guess a woman in that case would just have to cross state lines if she could, But that brings us to the next point, which is what you were saying, which is what do we do for people that really like that's and we've said this before. If you need to get an abortion in Tennessee, Marie, you'd fucking cross state lines and get an abortion. You don't have a problem.
Nope.
I'm in New York. We don't have a problem at all. Like I can just get it up in there anytime I need to right now. But for people, there are plenty of people that do not have that ability. And that's where what you were saying about one of the biggest things that we can do to help right now is make donations to local abortion funds. That's what they're saying is like the most useful thing. Or you pick a state. Like for me, I can, definitely donate money to the New York City Abortion Fund, but I can also choose to donate to one in Tennessee, where I know people are really, really going to struggle. And if there's anything, like, just everybody listening today, if everybody donated like $5 just like today, you'd be doing something really useful.
I would also say show up at any kind of local rallies. There's power in numbers, and that's where I think like we all have to physically start showing up. That's all, you know, and I mean, I talked about it on our, you know, episode with Julie. I went to my first one here in Tennessee. I was really nervous because I didn't know if there would be, you know, people protesting it, or if you know, in Tennessee also you don't have to have a concealed weapons license.
Well, in New York now you won't either.
Nobody else. So yeah, now, but back then it was just Tennessee. Now everywhere. Great, so great, America. But I think that like if you are nervous, like there are people there that are so kind and friendly that you could. I think that they sense that maybe you're alone. Like, I don't know. I just know that like you are safe, you are loved, you can show up by yourself, you can go with friends.
And try to go with friends. It is safer to go with a group. So like it is, they do recommend that you should, you know, if you have someone you can go with. If you can't, there are organizations that are going like Marie said, where you can like find people and be like, hi, can I be with your group?
And there's always, for every, I mean, at least the rallies that I've seen here, there's usually a Facebook invite that you can RSVP to, and then they actually give like a very specific location where you're all meeting and like what the agenda is if you're a Virgo like me and want to know what's happening and who's speaking and how to follow up with these individuals. And then I know I keep referring to Julie's episode, but I think it's really, really important then to after something like a gathering like this, to see if people want to then go to a bar afterwards or a coffee shop if you don't drink, but have these conversations with other like-minded individuals and hear their stories as well. Because I think that this is what is going to be the power of the moment, is people sharing their own abortion stories or not abortion stories. Like, just, we all have to start talking, and especially the men who have benefited from abortions. I want all the men out there to start telling their abortion stories. It's time. It's simply time. We are all in this together. A friend of mine said directly to my face, like, Marie, like, women have more skin in the game with this. And I was about to rip his skin off for saying that. It is not just women's whose bodies are at stakes. It's men's too. We all, like, this is a humanity. We all have to come together. We always say this, you're as free as, what is the saying?
You're as free as your most oppressed person.
Right. This is, you know, and I'm a privileged white woman who can always hop in on a plane and go to New York and get an abortion. I volunteer. I'm a managing producer of a sex worker advocacy group. Sex workers are directly going to be affected by this. And this is what, like, I vow every day to help women and men who want autonomy over their bodies to use it any which way they want. And the government should not have any say in that. And it's absolutely heartbreaking and devastating that this is where we're headed. But I am trying to remain hopeful that we will just find something else will come and make it even a stronger bill than it has before.
Yes. So, and I just wanted to double back real quick, just in case you're wondering where you should go to donate to these abortion funds. The National Network of Abortion Funds makes it really easy to donate to a number of different pro-choice organizations across the country. You can split your donation evenly amongst abortion funds that need it most. They make it really, really easy to help the people that need it the most. And also, if you are looking for events and places to protest and stuff, Bands Off does events. It's BANSOFF. I think it's just bandsoff.com, or on Twitter, Bands Off. And I found that like really useful because it had up to the date stuff, and it was like shit happening all over the country. Because I know sometimes I've had feelings when these protests are going on where I'm like, I don't know where to start. Like, I don't know where they're happening. And like later you'll see that there was a thing. You're like, oh, I missed it. And like, but that is a really great resource to know where to start. And then you'll start meeting people and stuff. But yes, like, this idea that it just affects women is insane. Like, it affects all of us. And the other thing too is, it's like, this isn't even just about what, like you were saying, we're not at risk, you and I particularly. Maybe more or less we are, like, even if we got pregnant and wanted the baby and then got sick, we could probably cross state lines or go to Canada or something and get something done. But like, it still doesn't change the fact that what I feel when you know, they're pulling down this Roe v. Wade thing, what I feel is like we are less than human in the eyes of the government, you know? And I think that that's like the part where I wish men would fucking get off their asses and fight a little bit and say, these 50% of the population are human also.
Here's a call to action. And again, like, this makes me absolutely crazy. But women, bring your men to the rallies. Make them fucking go. I hope that you're with men that want to come and show up no matter what. But I'm not in a relationship. I want them to fucking
go. I want them to want to go.
I want you to want to watch the dance. But I'm telling you, I mean, I think that like it's, and I'm not trying to put this on like it's now women, make your men show up now, because that's another thing of like making the women do the labor for society, which I'm so over. But like, if I was in a relationship, I would not give that man an option. You're coming.
Yeah.
We all have to just start showing up.
Yeah. But okay, so another thing that we can do, we always talk about voting, right? And so and that gets exhausting because you're like, well, fuck it. Is voting even doing anything? I don't know. But you can volunteer to help elect pro-choice candidates in your area. And in some areas, that's more important than others and has more of an effect. So that is something very, very, very active you can do, is participate in those elections, not just by voting, but by canvassing for them and things like that. And the other thing is there's actually going to be abortion rights votes on certain ballots in some of the elections in 2022. So find out if your state has some that I saw pop up. I think there's going to be some votes in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, Kansas. I'm sure there's other states that I was getting a little confused about where. But if you live in any of these states, take a look. Go out and vote for those things, because those are going to be the things that really make a difference. There's like a map out there right now, which is like floating around. That's like these states, it's already banned. These states, it's protected. But then there's like a good chunk of states where it's going to be up to these like states themselves. And like we have to see how some of these votes go and things like that. So that's also a place where you can be active. And like you were saying earlier, the other thing about all this that we want to try to like stay optimistic about, and this is what Julie was talking about on our episode with Julie Rosing, when this Roe v. Wade decision wasn't that secure for us. And if you like look into all the details law-wise of like how it got passed and whatever, blah, blah, all the terminology that I don't know because I'm not a lawyer, when you really look into it, what it protected was like physicians, and it protected like your right to have privacy, but it did not protect a woman's right to her own body. That wasn't even part of like the law at the end of the day. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg like famously said she wasn't that excited about Roe v. Wade, and people took it all out of context. Like, what? And her point was that like we need a law that is about women's autonomy. That's the law we need. We don't need a law about protecting physicians from having the right to give an abortion. And I think that that's where we can also look forward. Like, okay, this law failed. Fine. What do we need in place now that actually treats us like human people fully and actually gives women equality, you know, so that we're not being held back because of our biology. And that was
put
her
that
big
on
point.
a shirt, Katie.
Yeah, well, it's too long. It'll be like really hard to read.
Yeah, it'll be a dress. It'll be a t-shirt dress.
Also, by the way, I just caught myself. I know that I'm saying women, and what we really need to be saying is people that can have babies, that can, you know, go through childbirth, whose bodies can have, you know, and that's something that we should be remembering, but is sometimes forget. So sorry about that. So
I'm just so angry, and I feel really bummed out about how much I have always believed in democracy. I've always really believed in our country. I've really always believed in our politicians in some way, shape, or form, that they had the people's hearts and minds, you know, in the forefront. But I'm so disenchanted right now with everything.
Yeah. And I have to say, I think that that's also like a specifically white problem in the sense that I think that we really did think that this was a country that was out to help us, because that's how it felt for us for a long time. And like not everybody felt that way, and we couldn't hear it when they were like, this country's terrible. And we were like, what do you mean? Freedom. Everyone has freedom.
Right.
And now it's like we're starting to really see the truth that like, it's not that the country is so different in some ways. It's just that it's just turning against all of us now. It's like the true colors of like what many of these elected officials are really out for is not good. You know, they're not for the people's rights. Something like 80% of Americans want abortion to be legal. Like 80%. So that's not a choice that's being made because it's like helping the people. These gun laws are not being made because it's helping the people, you know? So all the more reason to get the people into office if we can, who like, you know, like an AOC or people like that. I don't know. I know some people hate her, but I love her. Because that's the government that like we can have hope for, you know?
I hope so. Today I feel just very, very sad about the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Not enough people show up to vote anymore. No matter, you know, people are just tired. I will always use my privilege and right to vote. I will always vote. I especially enjoy voting in local elections because that's where shit can really get done. But nobody does it. Very few people show up.
By the way, there's a bunch of elections coming up. I do know New York City has elections for primaries on Tuesday. So everybody go vote. And there's early voting is happening right now. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, I know.
Go vote.
Do it. Keep showing up, you know.
Go vote. It'll do nothing. Just kidding. Don't quote me on that. Out of context, that would not
No,
sound
but
good.
I mean, that's definitely, there was like a quote, AOC was talking about all this and she said something about, she's like, listen, the bottom line is voting isn't enough anymore. We know that.
It's not.
She's not saying don't vote, but she's saying we got to do all of it. We have to be in the streets. We have to vote. We have to show up. We have to, you know, let people
follow
know
your money. Where's your money? Where's your money? Like what corporations that you're blindly paying for, look to see, trace the money and see where your money is actually going. And some of these big corporations are paying for these pro-life type things.
Sure. I mean, anything that'll, pro.
The other day I said it wrong on a podcast. And did I tell you that? I said it wrong on a thing and I was like, wait, where did you go? And I was like,
No. But I mean, I think that's the thing. I think, you know, when you really look at it, you're like, what is this? Who is this for? Who is this? Who are these rules for? And they're for the, you know,
puppet
white
masters.
Supremacy patriarchy.
Yeah.
It's for the rich people to keep us down. Like that's literally it.
It's a scam.
Because it doesn't make any sense. Right. It's a scam. It's all a big scam. And fear, they use us against each other and, you know. So, I mean, this isn't nothing new. This ain't new. This is just, it's like they've just ramped up, you know, they've really just gotten enough power where they can get away with it now. They've gerrymandered enough and we've been ignoring it long enough that they can just get away with it.
Not anymore.
And all those people that were like, Trump's as bad as Hillary. I'm like, oh, come on. Do you see now what the problem is? Do you see now what the problem is? I just got to say that. Hillary sucks. I get it. But come on.
Oh, man. I just
come
wonder
on.
where
This is exactly what we said was going to happen. But it's all great because we're going to get a better law in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And the law is going to say women are actually equal humans, not just, well, you know, privacy is important sometimes. I don't know. And these, like, you know, same people that want less government want the government to tell us what to do our bodies. Like, what are you talking about?
Man.
They don't know. The thing is that they don't know. The followers of all this, they don't know what they're talking about. But again, it's like 80% of Americans don't even want this to be illegal. So like, it's not, that's the other thing is I think we think that it's like some majority of people, but it's like, no, there's a lot of people that are reasonable people and the government is not representing them. And also, by the fucking way, what the fuck are you guys doing, Democrats? What are you fucking doing? You're doing nothing. You're doing nothing to help us. You're sitting on your hands. I'm so fucking tired of Joe Biden being like, we got to do something about this. Something must be done. I'm like, you're the fucking president. You're the fucking president.
That's what I was screaming this morning.
Do something big. Do something big.
That's what I was screaming this morning. Immediately when I saw the headlines, I was like, fucking Democrats. And I'm a proud.
And there's all the shit they could have done.
All the fucking shit. You cannot. The Republicans are showing up with a knife to a fist fight. What is gunfight? Gun to a knife fight.
Well, we're showing up with a knife to a gunfight.
And
the Democrats
and the Republican, yes, they have an AR.
And the Republicans have AR, AKs, 47s or whatever the fuck
that big, So it's time we fucking start really,
Well, we got to put the heat on everybody. That's it, But
this is why I feel sad.
Anyway,
this is where I'm like, democracy. I know. We're not in democracy. This is not a democracy.
No, not when our judges are telling us something that we don't want, giving us something we don't want. Anyway, I got a protest to go to.
Yes, I spent the day at a pool. I was just like relaxing and just trying not to. I mean, I'm glad that we have to speak up and say these things, but also please, everybody, take care of yourselves and do self-care and meditate and calm and but also just fucking
and take care of each other.
Yes,
send some money. That's like the least you can do, and it's very helpful because that's what people need. They need the money to like be able to get their abortion. So
and follow where your money's going too. Like just be conscious consumers. And I hate to say it, but oh God, I get on birth control. You gotta, I'm a huge
do whatever you gotta do. Get a vasectomy.
I love a pull-out method, but you can't do that anymore.
Not now. Not nowadays.
Maybe that should be the title of the episode. No more pulling out, y'all.
No more pulling out. We're staying in. We're staying in for good. Wait, that's the wrong message. Okay, anyway.
Go out and fight. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We're in it.
In it to win it, guys. Thanks we're going to be doing more episodes. We're back. We're going to be back. Not every Tuesday, just whenever we feel just like a rage that we need to use our mouth holes to spout things at you. But
which will be a lot. So,
Thanks for tuning in.
All right. We love you. Bye.
Oh.